My name is Emily, 29, and I never imagined returning to my father's house would nearly cost me my life. Every dinner turned into agony. Stomach cramps that doubled me over, nausea that kept me awake for hours. "You're just stressed after Mark dumped you," my dad, Richard, would grumble whenever I mentioned a doctor. The night I coughed blood onto the kitchen table, his irritation morphed into fear. That was only the start of our ordeal. I'd led an unremarkable life before my body betrayed me. I was a data analyst in Seattle, finding comfort in the predictability of numbers. My boyfriend Mark and I shared a small apartment for 4 years until he blindsided me with, "I need to find myself," code for "I've been seeing someone else." Heartbroken and unable to afford rent alone, I moved back to my dad's place in Tacoma at 29. My mom died when I was 20, leaving me with dad and his second wife Laura, only 10 years my senior. Dad, a gruff mechanic, dismissed emotions as weakness, his mantra, "tough it out." Laura, his former co-worker, was polished, always composed, but her smiles never reached her eyes. The first week at home was tense but bearable. Laura set up the spare room with a thoughtful touch, a candle on the dresser. Dad avoided talk of Mark, muttering, "his mistake," before fixating on practicalities like the noisy radiator. By week 2, I felt off. After Laura's chili, my stomach twisted painfully. I chalked it up to stress. Days later, her casserole triggered worse cramps and nausea, leaving me curled up in the bathroom. "Maybe I'm allergic to something," I told Dad over coffee, skipping breakfast. He barely glanced up from his phone. "It's just nerves. You've always been sensitive." The symptoms escalated. Nausea hit predictably after Laura's dinners, milder after lunches, absent after my own breakfasts. Over-the-counter meds, antacids, motion sickness pills, failed. New symptoms emerged: exhaustion, shaky hands, occasional vision blurs. "I need a doctor," I pleaded one night after dry heaving. Dad scoffed, "You're making it up, Emily. Mark leaves, and suddenly you're falling apart." Laura stayed silent, slicing her food with precision. I tried cutting out dairy, then carbs. Nothing helped. Laura insisted I eat her meals, saying I looked frail. Dad called me ungrateful when I hesitated. By month 3, I'd lost 12 pounds. My skin paled, my hair thinned, and dark circles framed my eyes. Work suffered. I forgot deadlines, made errors in reports. My coworker, Sam, noticed. "You look awful, Em. You need a doctor, not your dad's permission." That night, Laura's stew hit me hard. Nausea overwhelmed me mid-dinner. "I need the ER, I gasped, clutching the table. Dad slammed his fork down. "This is ridiculous. You're acting like a kid for attention." Laura murmured, "Richard, calm down," but he brushed her off. "No, she's milking this. ER visits cost a fortune." His words burned. I stood, dizzy, and retreated to my room, too broke for a cab or ER copay. Laura knocked softly, offering $30. "There's a clinic on Main Street. It's cheaper." Her concern seemed genuine, but something in her gaze unsettled me. At the clinic, a rushed doctor blamed stress and prescribed anti-anxiety pills. They made me drowsy, worsening my work performance. Dad smirked at the pills, "Told you, it's all in your head." Laura doubled down, piling my plate with her cooking. Sam and another co-worker, Claire, became my lifelines, sharing food when I couldn't eat Laura's. I started a food journal, noting symptoms spiked after her dinners. Online research suggested food poisoning or toxins. In a health forum, a nurse, Rachel, asked, "Could it be poisoning? Maybe environmental, chemicals, heavy metals." The idea shook me. I recalled Laura boasting about new herbs from an online market. While they were out, I photographed her spice rack, jars with foreign labels, some unmarked. Rachel couldn't confirm anything without tests but urged caution. At dinner, I asked about the spices. Laura paused, then smiled. "Just exotic blends, nothing special." Dad snapped, "Stop blaming her cooking." My symptoms worsened: numb fingers, brittle nails, rashes. Sam paid for a visit to Dr. Chun, who listened intently. "Your symptoms suggest toxicity," she said, ordering blood tests for heavy metals. Don't eat anything you didn't prepare. I crashed at Sam's, and my symptoms eased slightly. Dr. Chun called 3 days later, urgent. Your tests show high arsenic levels. Come in now, and don't return home. At her office, she confirmed, this isn't natural exposure. It's deliberate. She'd reported it to the police. Sam's jaw dropped when I told her. Detective Harper interviewed me, noting my symptoms tied to Laura's meals. I insisted on warning Dad first. At dinner, Laura served soup, her hands unsteady as she set my bowl down. I'm being poisoned, I told Dad, showing Dr. Chen's report. He exploded. You're accusing Laura? This is insane. Before I could argue, blood surged up my throat, staining the table. Laura's face wasn't shocked, just cold. I woke in the hospital, Dad at my side, guilt-ridden. You were right, he whispered. Tests confirmed arsenic poisoning. Laura had vanished, her phone off. Police found arsenic in an unmarked spice jar and a notebook detailing my symptoms and doses. Laura, born Lisa Grant, had poisoned 2 prior husbands, one fatally. She'd targeted Dad too, subtly to secure his insurance, with me as the primary beneficiary. My return disrupted her plan, so she accelerated mine. Laura was arrested weeks later, attempting to flee to Mexico. Her trial exposed her calculated cruelty. She'd posed as caring while poisoning me for months. Sentenced to 25 years, she claimed it wasn't personal. Dad and I rebuilt slowly, moving to a new apartment. Therapy helped us confront his denial, rooted in fear of loss after Mom's death. I returned to work, took forensic accounting classes, and joined a survivors group. A year later, Dad gave me Mom's locket, inscribed with "Speak Truth." It reminded me my voice mattered. Recovery is ongoing. Nightmares persist, but I'm stronger. My body's whispers saved me, teaching me to trust myself. If you've been dismissed, know your truth is valid. Speak it, keep speaking, until someone listens. It might save your life.